If you just installed Linux, you open the terminal and you're staring at a black screen, wondering what am I even going to type? That was me. And if that is you right now, in this video I'm going to show you 5 basic Linux commands for complete beginners that will make you feel confident immediately and will be a solid foundation for your Linux journey. So let's get into it. Open your terminal and take a walk with me. My name is Mark and I teach programming on this channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing so that you don't miss what is coming. So without wasting any time, let's jump right in. The first command that you need to know is the command called pwd. pwd. pwd stands for print working directory. Now I'm going to use a building as an analogy. So you have a building with different rooms inside, and then you want to know which room you are in at a particular point. So when you use the Linux command pwd, it helps you to know the current directory or folder that you are in. So let's practice that. I'm going to type pwd and I press enter. So what you can see here is /. It is telling me that I'm in the root directory, or in other words, in my root folder. Okay, so anytime that you feel lost in your Linux journey, or when you are using Linux, you don't know the directory where you are, just use pwd and then it will show up your current directory. The second command that I'm going to show you is ls. ls simply means list. Okay, so what it does is, using the same building analogy, when you use pwd to know the current room or directory or folder you are in, ls gives you list of all the items you have in that current folder or directory. Okay, so let's take, for example, let's practice ls. So I'm going to type ls, all in small letters. I press enter. So here you can see the list of all other files and folders that I have inside my root directory. Now, there is another command called ls with the L flag that gives you more details about every folder or directory in your current folder. And for you to do that, you put the same ls all in small letters, space, you put dash and small letter L, and I press enter. You can see right here, it gives additional information such as the date and time when the folder or the file was created or last modified. This is very important as you work with Linux. Now the command number 3 that I'm going to show you is cd. cd stands for change directory. The first one we said pwd helps you to know the current folder where you're in. ls gives you a list of all the items in your current folder. Now cd helps you to navigate from one directory to another. Back to the building analogy. In a building where you have different rooms, you use the ls to know the contents of a particular room where you are. But then if you want to move from one room to another, you need cd. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you use cd to move forward into another room and then to come back to the previous room. So for us to do that, I'm going to type. First, let us have the list of items in our current directory. In all this list, we have home directory up here. Okay, so I'm going to enter inside this home directory. I'll type cd and I'll put home. I press enter. So for me to be sure that I'm now inside the home directory, I'll use my pwd And now you can see I'm inside the home directory, right? Now, what if I want to go back to the previous room where I came from? So I need to use cd dot dot. So I put cd space dot dot, I press enter. Now I'm back to the previous room. At this point, for me to be sure, I also want to use my pwd, and now I'm back to the previous room. So don't forget, cd helps you to navigate from one directory or folder to another. To go forward, use cd with the name of the folder where you want to enter. And then if you want to go back, use cd space dot dot. Now the command number 4 is mkdir. mkdir. That simply stands for make directory or make a directory. Okay. Now directory, as you have heard me use with interchangeably with folder, directory is another word for folder. Okay, so if you want to create a new folder in Linux using Linux command, you will only make use of the command mkdir followed by the name of the folder that you want to create. Now, I'm going to practice it here. We're going to create a new folder. But before we create a new folder, let's use our ls to see the list of folders that we have. And again, I will not want to create it in my root directory, so I'm going to move from one folder to another. Then we get to where we'll create our directory. I'll move into home. I hope you still remember how to do that. cd home. Now I'm inside home. Now let's check what we have inside home. ls. So we have a folder called Mac inside home. Now I'm going to move inside a folder called Mac. cd Mac. Okay, let's be sure where we are with my pwd. Okay, now I'm inside folder, and inside the I'm inside the home, and inside the home there is Mac inside. And that's where we are right now. So what we have inside Mac, let's check ls. Okay, we have a new folder, and that's it. Now we want to make or create another folder inside the Mac directory where we are right now. And for us to do that, put mkdir space. So let's call this my project. So projects. I press enter. It seems as if nothing happens, right? But then we're going to check the items in our current directory to be sure that our folder is successfully created. So we use ls. Wow, that's good. So we have our new folder called my project. That's it. So very simple and easy, we are able to create a new folder in Linux command. And most importantly, you're going to be using this a lot if you want to organize your files in your Linux system. And the last but not the least command I'm going to show you in this video is the touch command. The touch command, touch. The touch command is used to create a new empty file. Okay, a new empty file. And we're going to practice that also. Since we have created a new folder, we're going to move into that new folder and then create empty files inside the new folder. So let's move into my project, cd my, you can use your tab to complete it. And now we are inside my folder, my project folder. So pwd to be sure. Yes, that's where we are now. Now here we're going to create new files. So very quickly we're going to create an HTML file, CSS file, and a JavaScript file. So let's start with touch index.html. Okay, nothing happened. Let's create another one. Touch styles.css. Okay, that's two. Now let's create another one. Touch index directories.js. Okay, so we've created 3 new files inside our directory called my project. Now let's check the items in our current directory. ls, and then voila, here you have index.html, index.js, and styles.css. Let's take a quick recap. In this video, we have learned 5 basic Linux commands that will make you confident whenever you open your terminal. The first command is pwd, which helps us to know the current folder where we are in. The second one is ls, which gives us list of items in our current folder. The third one is cd, that helps us to move from one folder to another. The fourth one is mkdir, that helps us to create new folders. And the last one is touch, that helps us to create new files. If this video helps you, give it a like, drop an encouraging comment. That tells me that I need to continue creating content like this. Subscribe to this channel because I am building a full Linux series from scratch, and you don't want to miss that. After that, I will be coming up with a full WordPress and e-commerce course that will teach you how to create a website from scratch to finish, and how you can use it to make money from clients from all over the world. So you don't want to miss that. I'll see you in the next video.